Hi, welcome back to Markets of Sunshine. Hope you're having a great day. This is Marsha coming to you from sunny Florida. And today we're going to be making 2 book page pockets. And we're going to put these in our journals. You can use them as happy mail, and you could also put them in a card, inside the card. And if somebody who has a journal or just as happy mail in the card. All right, so this is what we're going to do to get started. So this set right here is we're going to assemble it. But let me show you over here on this one what I've already done. So this is our get started sample, and then this is assemble it over here. So here's the book page, and I've already inked the edges of this, just the one side, and I'll ink or stamp over here in a minute with you. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Okay, and so there's cardstock here, cardstock at the bottom, little bits of fabric, and this is just scraps of thread off of my sewing machine. This is going to be a tag for the inside of the pocket. It's going to fit right here. We'll use our little half circle punch here to make it easier, or actually I'll put the that would be here on the pocket, but normally that I'm not going to need that today. So actually around the corners of all of this, and then with my hole punch, then I'll put a hole here, and we will put an eyelet, and we're going to hang some cute little charms off of here. So that's the sample. Okay, so now let me finish up the sample with you and show you what I've done. Here is just a piece of cardstock, leftover scraps off of my table from yesterday's project. Underneath of that, I put the book page. On top of that, I put the napkin. Now here's an embellishment, and here's another embellishment. So this side said heavenly, but I didn't like that. So we're going to put this right here. And then I'm going to take just a marker that is, in the green tone. So something that would go with this, complement what I'm doing here already. And you see how there's a border on this side. So that's what I'm trying to mimic, is just put a border. And you could do this with washi tape if you had that really narrow washi tape, but I thought, that's too much. Try to figure that out. So I said, this will work. So I'm just going to make a border on it just like it was on the other side. And then I will ink once this dries, so I have to let this dry. And then I've just turned the plain white side into a nice little banner also. So I'm going to just hold it like this so I can color right down here on the edge. Trying to fill in this little bit of a gap paper. There's like a little border on the back of this, and that's why it's not filling in. There we go. This is a Marvy marker Le Plume 2 number 72 Pine Green. I just bought this at Michael's. And let's see. All right, there's nothing on here that says, okay, acid-free, non-toxic, but it doesn't say if it's water-based or whatever. So that's all the information that I can provide you. Now this comes over here, and then we're going to glue these pieces right here to the front. And I just want that layer like that. And I'm going to use my Aleene's tacky glue So if you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you would like to subscribe and to learn more of my style here on my channel, then feel free to do so. And I will be doing a giveaway when I reach 400 subscribers. And so every 100 subscribers I do a giveaway, just as my show of appreciation for your support. And you can also put a smile on my face if you visit my Etsy shop. So when you subscribe to my channel, you put a smile on my face and joy in my heart. And when you visit my Etsy shop, make a purchase, you also can put a smile on my face and joy in my heart. And that is another way you can show your support. So it's all good. And I appreciate every single one of you. Appreciate you being here and appreciate your support in whatever way that you can. All right, so now that finishes the cover of our little pocket. So our book page pocket, that one is completed. Now this one, I'm going to round the corners, and then we're going to pretty this up. So this is going to be the tag, the writing journal tag, for, like I said, either Happy Mail gift or might be a gift for one of the prizes. I give in our Facebook group, Junk Journal Junction, I co-admin with my friend Linda Coker. And every month we reward our members, 2 members, for their participation. So whatever level of participation that they give in joining in the group, whatever contribution, whatever they can contribute every month, that gets them in the drawing. And I pick 2 names every month, and I send one and Linda sends one. And we just choose out of our stash whatever it is we want. Sometimes it's a finished embellishment. Sometimes it's just the supplies. So you just don't ever know what we'll send you. But that's our way of thanking our members in our group. And we also have a random act of kindness group. And so that's open to everyone in the group. And you put your address, name and address. And then anyone in the group can send you a surprise in the mail when they are wanting to do that. So there's no deadline for anything like that. You just put your name there, and then you send to whoever you want to, and then other people can send to you as well. So you don't have to be signed up on that list, but once you see names on it, you can send to them. So my name, Linda's name, and then other members are on there as well. Now that right away, the inking, it really does make a difference. And if you've heard me say this before, that I didn't think inking was any big deal until I started actually incorporating it, and then I could say, wow, that really makes a difference. Stands out. It's so beautiful. Okay, so this little birdie, because I don't know, let me see, wait a minute, I do. All right, so I'm going to use my Stampin' Up inks. Now these are just acrylic, water-based dyed ink. So I'm going to try it down here first on the flower. And then I'll do the birdie next. So this is where I was thinking. Let me take the birdie off just in case he's a little bit higher. So I think I'll just put the flower down here at the bottom. that. Very cute. And then I'm going to do the birdie up here in the corner, but I'm going to get my blue and I'm going to angle him. Let me see. Angle him just a little bit. I want him to be a blue bird. Okay, these are the colors I have. I have Knight of Navy. He could be a cardinal, and I could make him cherry cobbler, but let's go with the bluebird. Bluebirds are a little bit lighter color, but that's okay. It's whimsical. That's all that, you know, we're not, okay, so now he's going to go in this corner because there, isn't that cute? That's all it needed. Just a touch of something, and now there it is. It has that touch of something. So then this can go in the pocket here. And I might not even put anything on there. I think I'm just going to leave him like that. All right, now that pocket is completed. Now we're going to work on the second pocket. So now this is going to be from start to finish. And you're going to see every little thing and how I did the other one. Okay, so we already know we're going to round the corner of that. We're going to put the bird and the flowers down here at the bottom. So we already know that. Okay, this is an embellishment for the front. This is our piece of cardstock for here and our piece of cardstock for here. And now this tag, I cut it in to go in here, but it's a little bit shorter. So just a wee bit. So all I'm going to need to do is to get that jagged edge at the top is just tear this. Just like that. So now when I put my tag in, it sneaks out just a tiny bit, just to give you an ability to pick it up. Okay, so I want this piece to go right here. So I already know. And I just need to trim that. I'm just going to turn it over. Trim that piece off, hold on to that, and you see, then that's going to be the bottom piece. All right, but I just need this one piece here. I'm not going to use the, just want the floral side, not the animals. Because I'm doing kind of a garden theme with this. Okay. Make sure it's just, I don't want it to be, I want it to be just, okay, that's good. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to put glue stick on this edge here. Actually, let's do it on this side. Just go like this. Fold that over. Give it a press. So you see in this case, the way I do this is sometimes you could fold this piece over, but I don't like that. I like to cover it with the cardstock. I think it just looks prettier. So now we have flower here and animal there, or we have flower here and clock. I think I like the clock better. But I also think, let me think about this now. All right, if I flip it this way, we get a little bit of the frog. I don't want the frog. All right, let me see if I can, how much did I do here? All right, so I'll just have to go with this like this. All right, so if I just fold it evenly, let's just do this first. Just fold it evenly. Using the groove right on my table. Okay. And I think I figured out what was making the camera go vertical on me, because when I record, it's horizontal. When I upload it, that's where the problem comes in. So I have to use my video editor, and it's there's no option for me to change it to vertical or horizontal. And when I upload it then to YouTube, there's no option for me to do anything with it either. So it's in the recording process in the very beginning. So what I decided to do is have all my supplies ready and just record in one section instead of stopping and waiting for things to dry like I had been doing. So in the future, I'll have to just have all those things that would need to be a wait time on the drying already prepared so that then I can just shoot in one segment, and then I hopefully will eliminate that problem. Okay, back to the, what was I doing? Okay. All right, now let's just trim this off. Okay. I'll save that little smidgen. I don't know. Might need him for a future thing. Okay, on here, I'm thinking I'm going to use the tacky glue. All right, let me look at this now. Wait a minute. Wait, before I get ahead of myself. Okay, so this piece has to go on first. Then the bottom piece goes up over that. Okay, so we're just going to put it right here on this. Try to keep it as flat as I can, because I'm not going to come in with the brush on this particular thing since it's not going to be seen. Then I don't need to worry about brushing it. It's only when you know it's going to be seen, like on the other side of a card or a page, then you would want to brush it with your paint brush. Isn't that pretty? Look at how pretty that is already. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to come in here now and ink these edges. Top and the sides. Obviously the bottom we don't need to ink because it's going to be covered up in a minute with the cardstock. But and this cardstock is such a color. I'm going to just go down here. When it's all said and done, who knows, you may not even see that, but I'm going to go ahead and ink it now anyway. Okay. Now we come in, we're going to glue this. You noticed I didn't round the corners on this, it doesn't need it. But whatever you prefer to do, if you want to round the corners on yours, go right ahead. I just prefer not to do it on mine. So I hope you will give this project a try. It's so easy to do, but it really adds a beautiful element to your Happy Mail and to your junk journals. And I don't know if I mentioned that, but this is the Tim Holtz, I think it is, paper line. I think. I have to get the paper pad out. I still do have the paper pad, so with the cover. Okay, so now I was going to put this up here. It could almost be used as a seed packet, isn't it? Doesn't that remind you of that when we did that the other day? All right, do I want to raise this up or do I want to keep it down? Well, for the project today, I think it needs to stay flat. So once you see what we're doing, you'll understand. But if it was going to be solo on his little own, I think I'll use, I would definitely raise it up with some foam dots. for today's project, it needs to be all flat. I'm going to go here, try to even it up. This is going to go here. Hold the corners down so that that glue can set up. Oh, just want to raise that up. On that one, I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. All down the middle. I think it will still work the way I want it to work. Make sure I've got the word going the right direction. That would help. I just want to see the book page on both sides. Oh, now that looks beautiful. I love that. Okay, great job. All right, so now we're going to round the corners first, then I will ink it up. Curious to see how long this video is today. It does help to be all prepared with your supplies ahead of time. Because my videos tend to be about 35 minutes, and then they started creeping up to 45, and then they started creeping up to 50, and I was like, oh my goodness. I said, I want to go back down to the 35. But you're having fun doing this. I mean, you know, the time just flies by. It doesn't even, I mean, I don't even sit here counting time or minutes or anything. I don't, you know, my day is my own. So, unless I have a doctor's appointment, which I'll be having some dental appointments coming up next month. One next month. I don't know if it's going to be like one a month or one every 2 months. It's going to be based on my recovery. So trying to get as many videos done before then. So April 13th is when I go in. Would really appreciate your prayers. I always do well with this type of procedure. I've never had any issues whatsoever. So I do not anticipate any. I know everything is going to go well, but just still would be lovely to have some wonderful, kind thoughts and prayers. Okie dokie. Now, looks pretty good. So after the procedure, just because of healing time, there may not be videos for like a week. So from April 13th for a week, then don't be expecting videos. But starting, so let me think about this now. So that'd be the second week. So no videos the second or third week I'm looking at maybe. So maybe the first week, yes, and the last week of April, there will be videos. So just keep that in mind. So don't be alarmed when you don't see videos from me for a couple of weeks. I'm fine. I'm just going to be healing. Okay, now let's see. This can go in here. Now we need, all right, let's start with the bluebird. So I'm going to put the bird on the upper corner and the flowers on the lower corner. So cute. All right, where's my, there it is. put him back where he belongs. And then the flowers over here. Okay. And this color is Mossy Meadow. And like I said, these are Stampin' Up! Brand. These little ink pads come in their card making kits, but they have the larger size in the on their website. I always put all the little things back on their little original sheet, and they're in a drawer. So all of that is where I always know I can go and get to it. Okay, so we're not done yet. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so now this card slips into this pocket. Just beautiful like that. So now I can pull that out. So it left a little bit of room for them to grab a hold of it. I may put a little tab on there. So now let me show you. This is the final cherry on top kind of a thing. So we could either do it like this, which is what I'm thinking I'm going to do. I wouldn't want the little one behind the big one, I don't think. Seems like that would be better this way. Plus with that being, see, now I realized. It just, you know, once you get it all executed, then you can look at it and say, oh, yeah, that's why I did it that way. That's why it needs to be done that way. Okay, but let's go back over here just for a second. Let's back up for just a second. Then I'll show you the cherry on top. This just needs a little bit of inking love back here. Just give this a little bit of a loving look here. So when it's turned, it just looks nice and finished. So we don't want it to look naked, like he was, you know, just ignored. And again, this is your preference. If you don't mind it looking, you know, naked, then that's fine. But for me, it looked like just unfinished. It just needed to look like it needed a finishing touch. You know what I'm saying? There, that's better. You can just go in here as much or as little as you want. See, I'm telling you, these inks, they do dry up fast. It's not just my imagination. It's Distress inks dry up quickly. Okay, so that one's that one. Now let's see if there's any more ink, or if I'm going to have to break out the little ink pads again. I feel like I'm forever opening these things. I think they have those re-inkers. I'm going to have to invest in those. I have one, and I don't even know what color it is. I really couldn't tell you right at the moment. It was what's that one? Brushed corduroy, I'm thinking is the one I got. Which now the larger pad, now this is one thing I did notice. The larger pad, obviously because it's bigger, it does it lasts longer and it has more ink obviously, but these little ones, which I love the little size. I just love the little size. I like miniature stuff. I have a whole collection of miniatures. Oh yes, I wanted to tell you, which I forgot to tell you in the very beginning. So I hope you're watching my video to the end so that you get this little point. Okay, so the picture you saw in the very beginning, so it's the finished product, then it's my Creating in Sunshine, and then the picture after that is clay figurines, animals, and an old woman in the garden. I made those from polymer clay, like, goodness gracious, let me think now, 25 years ago? Thinking it's about that time, that long. Yep, with my friend Barbara at her house in Brandywine, Maryland. Had a beautiful, beautiful time. I just love my dear friend. And now she's like 85, I think, like that. 80 somewhere in her mid 80s. And she can't craft with me anymore, but that's okay. We're going to have lots of crafting time in paradise. That's not a problem. Okay, so now the back, that one is beautiful. The back of that one is beautiful. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's just go ahead and ink up the back of this. Let's just make the back of the journal card look just as pretty. We don't want it looking unfinished either. So I'm just going to make sure I look at the backs of both of these. Okay, now this one can go back in here. Let me ink the other one up really good. So I thought I would just share that. All of my crafting adventures. So the only thing that I am, I had two friends. One has since passed away. The other one is also in her 80s with macular, so she can't do her artwork anymore. And the one taught me how to use pastel chalks and velour paper. And I did a beautiful yellow rose, absolutely gorgeous. I was in my early 20s. And I used to live with them. They were two fleshly sisters and my two spiritual sisters. And then I did a picture, and I'm trying to remember. Oh, well, I think it was just the lion, and it was out of one of our magazines from the Watchtower Study back in the 80s. And it's the one where I don't remember if it was the Apostle Paul, and he's studying, and then there's the big lion's head, representing who, about to devour him, from the scripture that talks about that, keep your senses. Your adversary is walking about like a roaring lion seeking to devour someone. So anyway, so I actually drew that lion, and it turned out good. I mean, it really did. I was so surprised. I couldn't believe it. And the way they taught me, which is the way they learned, and they were from California, and they would go, there's some place in California, don't ask me where, and artists would go set up. Professional artists would just go set up in this like park or something. So anybody could come and watch them, so you could learn from the masters for free. So that's what they would do. So they were self-taught artists watching these other artists and learned from the different techniques. Watercolors, oils, pastels, I don't even know, whatever, acrylics, And so what they would do is take a picture of whatever it was the artist finished. And they would go home and they learned, you have to get, I don't know if they talked to different artists and got these tips, but they bought one of those old-fashioned projectors. You remember that in school? And how the teacher would put the paper on the projector, and then she'd have that oil pencil and it would shine it up on the screen. And then, you remember that one I'm talking about? We're talking, 80s, 70s, And so that's what they would do. So they were pet portrait artists. I have some of their and wildlife, not just pet portraits. I have wildlife pictures, prints from them. I'll have to show those in a future video. And so they would put the pet picture on the little projector and put the velour paper on, tape it to a door. And then they would go over and just sketch in all the outline of the pet, and then where the eye was, where the nose was, where the ear was. Then they would bring that to their board, to their easel, which I have one of their easels. I did sell off one of their set of pastels. She gifted it to my daughter, but my daughter never got into it. And my daughter said, Mom, just go ahead and sell it. So I sold that in my Etsy shop. So one of our spiritual sisters, I think it was in Texas, she wound up with that. And it had the friend's name was on the box of pastels. And so I just was so thrilled that I could pass that on to someone in my spiritual family that is using this. And, you know, we just can't wait to be reunited and tell her and show her if those pastels make it, you know. But anyway, and so it's just absolutely beautiful. So I just love learning and sharing what I know, what I've learned. And unfortunately, both of those pictures got lost when I moved, and I don't know whatever happened to them or who wound up with them. But anyway, I have a sneaking suspicion my mother took one of the yellow rose, but I could be wrong. I don't know. But she always liked all the things that I ever made, and so she probably took that, because I remember it was in my china cabinet. And when I had my daughter, my friends came in and my mother and packed all my stuff up, and it was in storage at my parents until we got our house here. We had to live with them for a month after I had my daughter. So anywho, it disappeared after that. All right, so now here's the last little cherry on top. So this piece is going to go here, and this piece is going to go here, and they're going to act as hinges. It's going to come out here, so it just needs to come out just a wee bit so that when it actually opens, see, so you have to leave room. And I just happen to have this trim in my stash. So I'm going to have to, okay. And this one, and then this one. So I don't know if these butterflies are off or what, but anyway, so I'm thinking I would need to leave like a, what is that, 1/8 of an inch of a gap. Yeah, it's almost a quarter, because here's half. Yeah, so a 1/4 inch gap. So you leave a 1/4 inch gap to allow space to turn it and open. Because if they were side by side and then you open it, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't even need that much of a gap. Anyway, that's what the whole. Let me think. Let me measure these and make sure. Yeah, okay, they're identical. Okay, but for some reason one looks bigger than the other. Okay, so I've never done this before. This is a trial and error, first time. So here goes. So I'm using the tacky glue. And I'm going to glue this side right here and right here in the middle. And then right here in the middle. And then over here. So that part right there is really going to be my guide. We're going to do it one at a time. Okay, so this one's going to go here. All right, so now that's the other thing I have to do. Okay, so this part, this isn't the problem. So it's the bottom was the problem. Going as it goes, so I'm going to have to lay it down this way. Okay. Okay, it's going to be interesting. All right, so where do I want, okay, so all right, let me look at this on this side, because the hinge had to be, maybe I should glue it to the front first. I think that's going to be the better way. All right, well, the green's going to have to go to the front. I wanted the blue, but it's going to have to be green, because this has to go here. So it has to lay perfectly. It has to be, so if you had, so I would glue it to the front first. This has to come under here. Okay. Boy, did that, that just grabbed hold of that like anything. Can't even move it. I could lift it, but it's, you know what I'm saying, it grabbed it fast. All right, so then this hinge I want to be right about there. Let me see, how much do I have hanging over? So now I'm trying to eye it up, so I need to hold it up. So I'm trying to eye it, and now this one I can move a little bit better. Okay, so that much of the, I don't know why it looks like a butterfly to me. I don't even know what is that, but I called it a butterfly. Okay, so that looks pretty. I like it. So either way, green or blue, looks good. Actually, I think the green does look better here. I had the blue, see, here going here because that was all the blue going on. All right, so now you see how that's going to work? Beautiful. So now I can come in, put the glue there, and even it up with the bottom of these two. That's what you have to keep in mind. So that's all you need to remember. And I'm going to leave that little wee bit of a gap, and we'll see how it turns out. Okay. So we're going to go here. We're going to go here. And there. And there. And a little bit right there. I'm thinking I'm just going to keep it on this, and I'm not going to put it on any part of that little flower in the middle. Oh, this is so exciting. I'm excited. This is the first time I've ever done this. So I'm excited to see what happens. All right, put that cap back on there. Isn't this so cool? I just love it. I love doing new things. Okay, so now this is going to go here. So what is interesting, I just realized, this one is wider, this one is narrow because that's why I put it on top. But this one is taller. It's okay, it's all good. But maybe keep that in mind when you make the two. It doesn't really matter, but just keep that in mind if you want them to be identical heights and widths, you know. But I like this one shorter, actually. I think it actually gave it more character. Okay, so I'm going to press it down here. And then fold this over. Voila! Isn't that beautiful? Just beautiful. Okay, so all this extra glue, let me get that off of there. Okay. Now, open it up. Perfect. See? Beautiful. Isn't it adorable? Look at that. It's so cute. I just love it. Oop, 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 oop. See, I got too excited there. This one needed more glue. All right. Fold him back over. This one's okay. Okay. Now press, press, press. I can see some of that glue coming right through there. Well, that would be a nightmare. All right, where's the wax paper? I would not want that to glue to my other little page. I'm going to tear off a piece of the wax paper, and put it right here so that it does not foil my little project. Okay, so now that one can go there. I'll wipe off the excess there. Mash that down really good. Little piece of fuzz. Why it's wanting to do that. There we go. This is vintage trim from who knows what year. 60s probably. With that color. A little tip, I don't use wet wipes because of the alcohol and all the stuff that's in them that I'm allergic to, even the organic ones. So I just have this plain bottle of water, and I was using this for all kinds of little things, adding water to gesso or paint, whatever I was using. So now what I do is I just spray it on my hands over my trash can because I don't want it misting papers in my room, you know. And then I come in with my paper towel and I can wipe my little fingers. Isn't that a cool idea? Keep your little hands clean. So if you don't want to use the alcohol stuff either, then just keep your little spray bottle with clean water. This is purified water, by the way. I don't want the chlorine. Reverse osmosis water is what that is. Okay, so now there is the completed project. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you love it. Let me bring it way up here so that you can see it very clearly. And here, and then here. Very, very nice. This little piece here, I might have to trim him off. Okay, so I'm just going to keep this in here for protection until that dries thoroughly. And then our tags, our 2 tags. So I really hope you appreciate that, and I hope you enjoyed it very much. And I appreciate your time so much. Let me get all my supplies over here. Now, I have a whole list, a whole schedule of what I'm doing. So, now next up on the agenda. So today we did make the 2 journal pockets attached with lace or ribbon, like hinges. So that one is completed. So I'm going to put a little check mark. Let me get my other pen. By each of the projects, and I'm going to put the date. So today is April, what is today? 25th or 4th? Anyway, 24th or 5th. I'll have to go back and check to make sure whatever the date was today. Okay, so now on my list, let's see, I have 17 items here. So 17 weeks of videos. Aren't you proud of me? I've got it all lined up here. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I've never done this. I wanted to make the altered playing cards. I've never done that before. And I've watched, what's her name? Treasure Books. And she did something really interesting. So I'm thinking, okay, let me see if I can do that. And I'm going to just, mix in my own style, but I'm going to use one of her little techniques that she used. But I'm thinking making them just for journals, cards, or Happy Mail, and put it in a card. So that's next video, so I hope you'll come back and watch that with me. So it's going to be the altered playing cards. So if you have a deck of cards, doesn't matter, they can be brand new, they don't have to be vintage, and then we're going to alter them, and we're going to make them into cute little embellishments for Happy Mail or your junk journal, put in a card, whatever you want to do with it. So stick around, because I'm going to do a couple odds and ends of things that you always see me doing here on my channel with it. And I'm going to have to go look through my stash because I have 2 decks of cards for a game called Sequence. We love that game. And so I can't take those. So I have to see, do I have some other cards floating around here somewhere? Otherwise, I will send my husband to the store and ask him to get me a deck of cards from the store. So it might be a brand new deck. Who knows? But anyway, so isn't this gorgeous? Absolutely. I mean, I'm so thrilled with it. Absolutely tickled pink. I love it. And I love the fact that they're both, they're different. That's what I love. And look at this. See, now this blue matches with this blue, and I didn't even plan that. So cool. I love it. Okay, keep creating in the sunshine, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.